Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Tuesday evening, Tough Love Tuesday, with your coach, Tracy Cromwell. And how's everybody doing today? We're heading into fall up here in the Pacific Northwest. It's starting to get a lot colder, those kinds of things. However, other folks, they're heading into their spring and summer. My co-author Ingrid Lau, she's heading into her spring and summer down in Santiago, Chile. But up here, it's starting to get cold. So anyway, welcome Tough Love Tuesday. And again, your coach, Tracy Cromwell, personal trainer. Tonight, our topic is why is posture so important? And why does it matter? And I know that we've all heard, stand up straight, shoulders back, don't slouch, all those things. But really, why, other than the physical aspect of what we look like when we stand up straight, what other things happen when our posture is in alignment or when it's not in alignment? And so tonight we're going to talk about that. Why is it important? Yes, our bodies look better when we stand up straight with the shoulders nicely back and down and relax our chin up versus down. Yes, we look stronger, and we actually have better energy, all those types of things. So there are other benefits, though, that when I did the research here that I discovered, which were actually pretty wonderful. Definitely, energy goes up. Our physical energy will go up. Just imagine, do it right now. Kind of if you're sitting down, sit up a bit straighter, relax those shoulders, bring them back and down, and bring your chin up and see how your energy level feels. And then go ahead and slouch back down, roll your shoulders forward, drop your chin. Even my tone changed a bit when I did that. So I'm going to go back up. I'm going to sit up straight, shoulders, going to roll them back and down, chin up. My energy level increases. So it's not only great for us physically to check our posture, but it also changes our mental, awareness and things like that. Benefits of getting your posture corrected or in alignment is bone and muscular alignment, joint surface health, optimizing breath, optimization of our breathing. We're standing up straight, we have more room to breathe. Fatigue prevention, really interesting, improves our circulatory health. Communication is better when we are standing up tall. Our spine health is improved. Fitness and workout functionality is better when our posture is in a better state. And our functional health is also better. And again, so how do you feel when your posture directly affects your everyday life? So it's really good to note, if you're feeling down and low energy, what's your posture like? If you're feeling full of energy, what's your posture like? So check that. It's really, it is true. It's sort of like that. Can you be upset if you're smiling? Can you be sad when you're smiling? When you're physically smiling, it does tend to make you feel happier. So let's address the first one. It's called bone alignment. So one of the major reasons why good posture is important for the human body is to ensure that bones and muscles grow and continue to flourish in the healthiest alignment possible. And kids and young people have not reached their maximum height or finished growing, it turns out. It's vital to have their posture in a healthy form, especially their spine in alignment. So if we think about it as in terms of a bone fracture or a break, in order to ensure the break or fracture heals correctly, it has to be aligned, right, and held into place and maintained a particular way so that it heals properly. It doesn't heal incorrectly. And that same thing can be said for our bones being in alignment, for those bones and ligaments that aren't fully formed. So it's really important for kids as they're growing to have that posture. Um, it's also having this posture, positioning the body in its optimal state. This is interesting too. Will state in this optimal state will, with regard to gravity and the forces working against it, it is ultimately what posture describes. It is key to helping us to heal, grow, and manifest in a healthiest way possible. So our body is constantly getting pulled down by gravity. Um, I'll put more links in the comments below when I'm done. But the American Chiropractic Association, outlines more about the importance of our good posture for our overall health on their website. So again, for our young ones that are growing, they really need that opportunity to have great posture, to have that healthy body, right? Um, our muscular alignment is important. So ensuring that our bones develop and strengthen to, in the most aligned and positioned way. Healthy posture is vital to ensuring the continued growth and development of our muscles as well. Um, a lot of times as a trainer, I talk about, kinetic chain dysfunction, or, one muscle's pulling too tight on another causes pain. I'll talk a little bit about that, but posture, is really important. Um, you know, that it will help our muscles to be the appropriate length, give the appropriate contraction, relaxation, those types of things to keep us, from having muscular pain. Um, so when we're exercising, for example, if we're continuing to be in poor posture, bad posture, we can end up hurting ourselves more. Um, we can again have muscles that a really good example is our chest muscles, our pectoral muscles are pretty strong, and you'll notice that you can tend to fight your shoulders pulling forward all the time. So it's very important to strengthen the shoulder muscles at the back of your back, and so that they can counter the pull of the muscles in the front to keep you from arcing forward, and then thus, preventing back pain or neck pain. So if we, can look at that too, and also the muscles also help maintain our skeletal alignment, which is really important for our nerves and how just our body transmits signals to other parts of it. So um, there's a good example here for yoga. Let's put it this way. So yogic movement and exercises strengthen the muscles which surround and protect the spinal column. So it's just talking about the spine. And it has no direct influence over the spine itself, but is hugely beneficial to the muscles which support and protect the spine. As the muscles strengthen over time through repeated and properly aligned movement, they form a strong layer of protection around the spinal column, helping to stay in its optimal posture alignment. So that was also from spinehealth.com, which I'll put the link in the comments. But having that alignment of the spine, strengthening those muscles around the spine, will help it, stay in its optimal position, thus helping to alleviate the pain that can happen with a misaligned spine. Joint health is the other aspect that our posture is really important. It helps to keep our joints healthy. Our surface of our joints and the interaction that the bones have when they move in relation to one another is the very foundation of postural health. The human skeleton is a carefully structured and intricate web of these joints, and they have to connect and they want to move in a specific way. And so when we have our posture correct, it decreases the abnormal wearing of joints, or dysfunctional movement that can happen in joints. And then also, it can help us them um, make sure that the cartilage in our joints is wearing normally and in the right place. So, um, wearing down of cartilage, occurs from periods of misaligned movement, and exercising. So, um, one thing I know when I was younger, I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time worrying about alignment and how it worked, and I didn't want to take the time to work on postural alignment, even in terms of how how I moved during exercise. I just wanted to plow through my workouts, but it's just realizing that when you have that um, the muscles properly moving and properly aligned throughout the body, we can then even be stronger. Okay, you can be a lot stronger when you're moving in proper alignment. And again, you have the opportunity to not then harm your joints by having them pulled in the wrong position and things like that. Um, this is a great one too. Is optimal breathing actually happens when we have better posture. Um, it lifts the chest up and open, giving that chest capacity for those lungs to open and close. Again, let's try this. If you're listening or even just watching, if you hunch over, all of a sudden the capacity for your lungs to open nice and fully is difficult. That you sit up straight, shoulders back and down. I know when um, I'm singing, we're always taught stand up straight, shoulders back and down, open chest, because we can get that nice, wonderful breath, full breath coming into our bodies. Um, Also, for public speaking, optimal breathing is important. Singing when you're running. When I was young, I would actually hold my breath on accident, and I wondered why I couldn't get very far in terms of running. But even with that, a nice tall posture when you're exercising is really important, so that you can have the capacity for those lungs to really expand and contract. Um, so um, if you do find that you are having some breathing complications, add not only if you're being treated for something, check your posture, because your posture, anything you do to open up the space for those lungs is going to be very, very beneficial. Um, so there's just so many benefits of getting those nice full breaths. And again, having that spine nicely aligned, nice tall spine. Um, you know, um, when you're sitting at work, anything like that, sit tall up out of that chair. All of a sudden, it's like, wow, I can breathe much easier that way. Um, there's also a study all about that. Uh, and I'll put it also in the comments, but there was a study done about brass players in an orchestra, and how their posture really changed the way that they play their instrument. So imagine how beneficial it is for a singer, a dancer, anybody else. It's beneficial for all of us to have that nice, great posture. There can be complications, and I'm sure we've all felt these. So complications associated with poor posture we'll see is, like, again, shoulder and back pain. So um, you can have and neck pain. So if you're constantly hunched over, you figure, how heavy is your head? Really straining on the back of these neck muscles that are kind of small, right? And then your shoulders are hunched over when they're not meant to be that way. And so this really worth the time to, if you don't have any type of straps at home or weights at home, you can still do nice pulling exercises and really bringing those shoulder blades back together at the back to help counter the pull of the front of your chest, rounding out, your back. So shoulder and back pain, um, Tensing the muscles in the upper back for prolonged periods of time can lead to pain and dysfunction in your back, especially for those accustomed to sitting at desks, being hunched over for long periods of time. So if you notice you have upper back pain, check your posture. And it can be a little tough to strengthen those muscles because they are weaker. They're not used to being used. And you can even just sit at the chair. For those listening on the podcast, I just put my hands out in front of me and then I pulled my shoulder blades together. I don't even have any weights. You can do this and pull those shoulder blades back, stretching the front of your chest and really squeezing those shoulder blades back at the, and that can help start to strengthen them. And then that can help alleviate back pain. Interesting enough, another posture associated complication is gastrointestinal and digestive discomfort. If you've got poor posture, leaning of the head too far forward, it can have direct effect on the way we digest our food, which I truly hadn't thought much about until I did the work for this podcast. But and it makes sense. Heads too far forward, it can have the effect on your digestive health. The compression of the stomach and the intestinal area, which occurs during long periods of sitting, can actually mess with your digestion and make bowel movements more difficult. So that's why it's really recommended to get up and move as much as possible. And again, it's challenging if you sit at a desk all day, but definitely get up and move. One of the things I do like to do, and when I can, is go for a walk after dinner. Go for a walk after eating. Really helps that digestive tract work. Another thing that can be a challenge for us if we have shortness of breath, or bad posture is shortness of breath. That can make it challenging. So again, we compress the front of our body. We don't allow our lungs to expand the way that they should. And we end up breathing in this upper area of our chest versus bringing that nice breath all the way down into our abdomen. So shortness of breath can be caused by bad posture. This is interesting too, and I kind of tested this at the beginning, but good posture can help prevent fatigue. So it does directly affect our energy levels. So again, try that. If you're finding that you have low energy, a little bit of fatigue, check that posture and sit up straight, take nice breath in. That's going to help. The other interesting part, which I really thought this was interesting, posture can directly affect our energy levels. In a bad postural stance, not only are the lungs often compressed, which I just mentioned, and prevented from providing us enough oxygen to convert into energy, but muscles are also compressed. And they're going to require extra energy to support our skeleton in an unnatural state. As such, we wind up spending more energy than necessary on muscular support and keeping ourselves upright. So it's worth strengthening, like I said, the muscles necessary to help us with our posture. Let's see. Definitely, it's going to be worth checking your posture habits at home and at work. And when you're walking around, when you're standing in line at the store, anything like that. It's interesting here. There was from spinehealth.com, they talked about chronic fatigue syndrome often includes posture correcting exercises as a course of treatment. Places emphasis on proper alignment of our bones and muscles to ensure an optimized and consistent state of maximized energy. So if we figure we are energy beings, we have energy going through us all the time. That's how we function. When we are not aligned, our posture's not aligned, we disrupt that ability for that energy to transfer within our body. The other thing next is poor circulatory health. Circulation is compromised when our posture is not in alignment. I've already discussed, the contracting of our rib cage. I've already discussed that the diaphragm, our ability to breathe. Um, you know, so prolonged periods of poor circulation also lead to mobility issues, become more difficult to remedy later on. Um, it's you know in the aspect of circulatory health, we have to move our bodies to get blood flowing through our bodies to do all the things that our bodies need to do. So if we are stagnant, we have bad posture, all of those things, we just really compromise our body's capacity to be able to do what it needs to do. Um, so let's look at, again, an office worker at a desk. The implications are pretty obvious. The tendency will be to hunch shoulders, stoop the neck, and compress the lower abdomen, all of which contributes to poor circulation and the feelings of stagnation or fatigue at the end of every day. Not just the work itself causing it, but it's that posture. I really recommend setting a timer for yourself on your phone or in your computer or whatever that gets you up, standing up, moving, and then sitting back down as throughout the day. So again, look at that because your circulation is not as good. um, Also, just in the aspect of our muscles, they become, if we are sedentary, our muscles get weaker and weaker. It makes it harder for us to move. It makes it harder for us to stand up straight. So it's so important to get body movement and check that posture so that you do have good circulation getting to all parts of your body. Um, so um, let's see here. Yeah. So if you're feeling fatigued again um, at work or at a computer, got to get up, move, check that posture, nice tall spine, shoulders back and down, and open that rib cage, chest forward to get that air in. It's going to really help a lot. This is interesting too. Communication and body language, it's important. So I don't know if we think about that. So having nice posture, standing up tall, shoulders back, and versus forward and down like this. So on the podcast, if you're listening, I'm rounding my shoulders again. I'm kind of just slouching. It's a little bit different body language, but I sit up straight and I'm now shoulders back and down. I'm talking, whole different feel of body language being expressed to you. So when you're speaking with others, again, posture, so important. Especially if you're needing to command a room or if you're a teacher or your parent trying to talk to the kids. It's really important. So basically, there is a definite link between our posture and the way we communicate with others. And it's fun. I'll put a link into this one website called skillsyouneed.com about body language. It's pretty interesting. Again, I was talking a bit about our spine health. And if you figure we have that spinal cord going from our brain down into our spine, it's so important that we take care of that spine. And again, we do that through strengthening the muscles around it, allowing it to be nice and tall and not compressed. And again, it will benefit us and beyond what I can say. I suffered from sciatica issues when I was going through my challenge with prediabetes. I hadn't been exercising or anything. And I had to do some work on my posture. And I know when I don't do that work, I don't work on strengthening and keeping those muscles strong to support my spine, and I don't do the stretches I need to do, guess what? My sciatica hurts and it will go down my glute. It wraps around the front of my knee and down into my big toe if I don't keep that alignment together. So again, over time, we can really harm our spine by harming its discs, all of those things by not taking time to check our posture. Um, One wonderful area that I'm loving, it's becoming much more popular, is called functional movement. And what it is, it's a form of exercise that um, we look at movement in daily life. And so we practice movements, we get movement of the body through different planes of motion, strengthening the body through different planes of motion. And an engagement of specific muscle groups and areas of the body with organic movement. So um, it's really trying to assess the most fundamental movements of the human body. And the theory behind it is that our bodies, while they are similar in structure, mobility, and function, are in actual fact vastly contrasting from one another. And so not everybody is going to benefit from the same stretches, the same exercise, those types of things. So it's really important, if you're having back pain or you want to have a, better functioning body, to have, go ahead and get assessed by somebody in your movement. One area I was trained in was assessment. And so when I look at someone, then we can say, okay, we need to lengthen these muscles. We need to, fix this over here, and we can help the body move in a more functionally free, accurate way. Um, and um, and then you can also have the opportunity to stop doing some exercises which could be causing what's called kinetic chain dysfunction, or helping to create misalignment of your posture. So the functional movement is something very exciting, worth looking into. And again, especially if you notice that you're having a hard time getting your posture into alignment. I did mention earlier how our posture and our mood are connected. There is a pretty good amount of correlation between proper posture and elevated mood levels. So that's something else to think about. If you notice you're feeling a bit down, or, again, fatigued or moody or whatever, what's your posture like? And if it is interesting that once you just make a slight adjustment to your posture, how your mood can increase. The other interesting part, again, is that they're talking again about the gastrointestinal tract can be pressured or compressed in a way that will cause indigestion problems. It can make it harder for possibly absorbing food, and then the lack of that, the improper digestion process can make us feel, moody. It can challenge our gut brain connection. It's really interesting. And so there was a really neat part about that, of the overall being of how our posture can affect our neurotransmitters in our brain. And this was from Harvard EDU. And how all of that is linked together. So that I found really, really insightful. Also, another aspect is that the effective posture has real impact on our feelings of self-worth. There was a study linked that it was at Ohio State. The sensation of standing up straight, feeling a bit taller, made them feel stronger, and these students had a better self-image of themselves versus slouching and trying to hide. They stood up straight, and it was interesting how their self-image increased when they were standing up straighter. So in terms of fitness, it's really important. When when you're exercising or starting to work out, your posture is so important, and to make sure that the right muscles are activated for the correct exercise. And so, during, say, weightlifting, those types of things, it's really important to have the thought, an understanding of what your body, what position it's in. So, imbalances that result from poor alignment during physical movement can lead to all sorts of problems. So, such as chronic back, neck, and shoulder pain, foot, knee, hip, and back injuries, headaches, stiffness, muscle atrophy and weakness, impingement and nerve compression, sciatica, carpal tunnel syndrome, uh, all those types of things. And so that's where it's really good to make sure you're paying attention to your posture, and that you know what muscles are supposed to be working, to do some of that lifting and things like that, so that you can have a very successful and safe fitness experience. And that's where it's really worth working with a trainer, someone that's very well versed in structural form, so that you can then, I think, one thing I tell my clients, or when I'm coaching, is you do you set yourself up for success when you work on your stability exercises, your all of those things, so that you do have proper form, and you have the ability then to lift or to do the exercises you want to do as strong as you want. And that um, focus is what I call body awareness and proprioception. And knowing it's really important for your brain to know where your body is at all times. And when we are misaligned, or if spine's misaligned, or we aren't practicing that, our brain may not know really what our body is doing. It's very disconnected. And so, it's really important that you are aware of that. So there's, um, when you have better posture, you have more higher levels of body awareness. And there's been studies that have shown that those with higher levels of body awareness generally experience lower intensities of physical illness than those with lower body awareness, but also, again, the ability to know where your body is at all times. And that helps you not to trip, not to fall. It helps you to, again, do things, let's just say, like a gymnast that can jump in the air and land. That gymnast knows where, his or her body is all the time. It has very good awareness. So it's really important that we keep that ability and know where our body is, and the positioning of one's physical place in space, and the impressions of that, within our mind. So I know it's a big word, proprioception, but it's an important one. So to help improve your posture, for slouching in a chair, you can, if you're used to that, go ahead and you can do a plank. You can do a plank, but if you're used to slouching in a chair, the exercises to strengthen your core and buttock muscles will help correct slouching posture. So that would be bridges, back extensions, and planks. Now, if you have a pronounced lower back curve that's really curved, where your bottoms tends to stick out too far, so like a Donald Duck, core and butt muscles, strengthening exercises, hip flexors, and thigh stretches, can help to correct that. It's really good, though, to go and speak with someone about it too, directly, to help do that, to help get aligned better. I will put up a website link as well, so you can look up some simple posture correcting exercises. And the other thing to think about too, I think I'm almost done here, but if we're traveling, we can have posture things we need to think about there as well. So, you're on a long flight, things like that. For a long haul flight, be sure to stand up and walk around the plane about every 1 to 2 hours. Um, for backpacks, it's worth investing in a really good quality backpack with adjustable straps and front ties so that you can have the right weight. Should be on your hips, not just hanging from your shoulders. Um, Pack light so that you aren't having to carry things that you don't need to carry. And also, let's see, I'll also put a website in. It's really good about how to avoid back pain while traveling. Ultimately, our posture is important in so many different aspects of our lives. And, you know, functional movement plans will help you with that. That's something that I can put together for you as well. But I will put in some more links for you to figure out how to help correct your posture. So that you get the ideal function and feel really good in your body. Um, and so again, making sure that the front of your chest is stretched. You pull it, you stretch it out because it will constantly be pulling you forward. Then you want to strengthen for sure those back muscles by doing some pulls. You want to have nice loose shoulders, do shoulder stretches, things like that. Keep that chin nice and tall, nice tight core. Utilize those glutes and all those types of things. And do spend some time, stretching. You're watching TV, take some time to stretch. That's going to help. But if you are experiencing back pain or anything like that, go see a medical professional. Go get a massage. All those great things. It's worth it because when we don't have good posture, like I said, you can have more fatigue, you can get more back pain. All of those. Oh my goodness! All these other things that can happen. Bad circulation, all that kind of stuff. So it's really important, not just again for what we look like, when we're standing tall, but how we feel and how our body functions is why it's so important. So you can always reach out to me on my website at tracycromwell.com. And if you have any questions about this, I can do assessments for you online and put together a program for you to help you move forward with your fitness program. And then also, I'd be happy to put you in touch with somebody else, some other people that I might know that could help you with your postural questions. So with that, I am going to say good night. Happy posture to everybody. Sit up tall, shoulders back and down, nice tight core, and have a great night. And I'll see everybody next week. Talk to you later.